So we got disconnected at Aries. We had a technical issue, but we're back. So where I was getting at with this reading, I was going to pull another card here until I noticed we were disconnected, but that's okay. All right, you guys, welcome in, welcome back. We're going to start from where I left off with Aries. I was channeling certain people and I was picking up on certain people's energy. I was going to get into this oracle deck, but I'll wait. So I was channeling for Aries, where we left off. I was channeling some people's backgrounds. So I was seeing Native and white American background. I also was seeing that this was going to be a message for someone who is of white American or white European background, a female energy who has dreads specifically. So there's a feminine specifically who has dreads, and she is European white or white American, just white girl energy. And I was also hearing and seeing Thailand, Filipino, Laos background or family tree as well. I had also channeled someone with a dragon tattoo. I don't know if I had said that before or after. Part of the message here, thank you, Spirit Ashe. Yes, I'm live right now, Mello. Yes, thank you. Hi, Miss Baddie and Thos. We're back, you guys. We're back. So this is what I'm seeing here. And I was channeling a person who has Asian descent or background as well, or feels connected to their ways or belief systems. Someone could be Buddhist. But what I was saying with this energy is that someone who is in the Aries collective. And if you came across this reading, yes, this is your reading. This is it. It feels like Spirit is gently reminding you that you may have dropped your shields, so to speak. And you may be reflecting on how dropping your shields a little bit, how a lack of protecting your energy could have affected you reaping the rewards or being successful. And you may be in a period of reflecting where you went wrong and what you could do better. And that's what I'm seeing here with your purpose brings legacy. Because your purpose bringing you legacy has a lot to do with how you are living your life and who you are as of today versus who you were yesterday or any time in the past, and your belief system, the marker of who you are. Okay. I'm also seeing here that Spirit is telling me that there needs to be like a stop or an end to your lack of wanting to see things clearly or a lack of protecting your own energy. And it goes back to what I said earlier, that your energy is automatically protected by angels and ancestors and, you know, spirit guides, the universe, your higher self. But you also, as the Aries sign, have to take action to protect your own energy as well, because Spirit can't just go and do everything. A lot of your protection has a lot to do with your own ability to make certain decisions in your life that lead you to prosperity, lead you to planting a seed so you could see the growth, so you could see the fruits of your labor, the fruits of your decision making, the fruits of you protecting your energy in order to go towards things that are for your highest good, people that are for your highest good, be in rooms and places and opportunities that are for your highest good, and being able to see that and make a decisive answer to that. You could be shifting and being this Shaolin master energy. You could be shifting into this graceful movement and action when it comes to how you're going to bring your fruits of your labor to your reality. How are you going to be disciplined enough to know what's best for you and what's not best for you, opportunity-wise or relationship-wise to people? So that's what I'm seeing here. This purpose leads you into your legacy. And then I had also, before we got cut off, I was mentioning I had channeled a movie that has Hilary Duff in it. It's like an old movie. It's called Cinderella Story, and it's about the scene that I thought of when it came to your reading. It's about a connection she was trying to have with someone, and that person was not being authentic, and there was miscommunication. And the way that she dropped the bar to this person, she basically told this person, waiting for you is like waiting for rain in a drought, useless and disappointing. And it's something that reminded me of these cards here on the spread for your reading, Aries, because she made this other person realize, the person who she was trying to connect with, she made that person realize that that person wasn't watering the seed that they created together to grow a solid foundation and a commitment. And so that has a lot to do with your message here. You may be missing the mark to protect your energy. And you may have to put a stop to something not serving your highest good in order to water the seeds of success in your life, this apple tree energy. So that's what I was channeling with this energy. And for some of you guys, you may have literally have been craving apples, eating apples, or even oranges here. But I'm seeing here, figuratively speaking, this reading is showing me that you may have dropped your guards, so to speak, and forgot about where you were headed with success. Maybe you've gotten distracted, or maybe something about this reflection here. For some of you guys, you might be reflecting on the old version of yourself, or, you know, asking yourself questions, like I said, in the mirror. Like, you might be asking yourself, why did this happen? Or who am I now? Or who do I want to be? Or where do I want to go? You might be thinking about this while you're looking in the mirror, or asking yourself this out loud in the mirror. And a lot of this time of reflection is showing you the parts of yourself where you dropped your shields. And how you became a disappointment to yourself when it came to the seeds that you were trying to sow in order to bring things to fruition. So the principle of the story, or that scene to this message, has a lot to do with your reading, about how she made the other person recognize that they weren't watering the seed to plant something of fruition together. And so that's spirit telling you, hey, you haven't watered the seed to put your life into a perspective of prosperity, to have legacy, right? So that is your message to this story. It's not about her, it's about the quote. You might have been waiting for something to change, but you weren't watering the seed that Spirit gave you. Okay? That's the message. Somewhere along the line, you're reflecting on, where did I drop my shields? Where did I not give to myself and my skills and my talents in order to create growth and change in my life? So that's what I'm seeing here. And being in this graceful movement and action is a reminder from Spirit. And a lot of you guys have gotten this clarity recently, and you are creating, you're able to enjoy the fruits of your labor, so to speak, is what I'm seeing here. And for others of you, you're on the way to this. But like I said, the timelines are different. Some people are reflecting right now, and some people recently have had this reflection already and are in the fruition energy. But it just depends on who this is. If you guys want to book a personal reading with me, my personal readings, like I said, are on sale, and you're more than welcome to book with me. The link is in the description box below. We have here trust. Okay. And it says, I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. So trusting your intuition, trusting your spirit guides, trusting that, hey, you are flawed and you're not perfect, and then that's okay, because that's where you learn from. That's how you become the master of movement and action, is through mistakes, is through not seeing clearly, is through dropping your shields, so to speak, and you may have done that. And Spirit is saying this leads you to your legacy. Why? Because it's what you've learned. It's the growth that gets you to enjoy the fruits of your labor. It's the pause. It's when you played the pause, when you weren't trying to play the pause. It's the disappointments that led you to discipline yourself and master your alignment to source, to your family tree, so to speak. Because for some of you guys, this is your family tree. Has a lot to do with your lineage and what you're leaving behind legacy-wise. We also have here regret. The regret card came out. It fell on the floor, but it says here, I know that I cannot change the past. Yeah, for some of you guys, you may be feeling like changing the past is something that you may want to do or struggle with this mirror reflection. I wish I could go back and to the way things were, or I wish I could change things, or I don't know what to do now because things aren't the way that I want it to be. Spirit is saying, I know that you cannot change the past, and I know that you're human and you're allowed to feel regret, but I want you to trust that you're in this position right now, and this position today is giving you purpose. How? It's giving you purpose to understand, to be open to this message for once, to be understanding of the things that didn't go right, but the things that did go right. To be understanding of yourself and others, to be understanding of your direction, even though your direction may not look the way you want it. Even though your opportunities aren't here yet, right? And so Spirit is saying that inner compass, that intuition is going to guide you to this prosperity, even though you may experience certain regrets, or you're reflecting at this time during the fall and winter on an old version of yourself versus the self that you are today, or you're moving into between today forward, if that's the case. So that's what I'm seeing here. We have here surrender. It says here, I can release my need to control. I can release my need to control. So Spirit is saying, just because you cannot control your circumstances or your situation sometimes. Some things you can control in your life and others you can't. Even though you can't control the way things go in life all the time or every little single thing, Spirit is saying that when you accept the things you can control and you accept the things that you can't control, that surrender of just accepting what is, and doing the things that you can change, and whatever you can't, it's okay. Spirit is saying that's how you will have this prosperity. This is how you get this apple tree, so to speak. This is how you get the fruits of your labor paying off, is through surrender, is through not knowing why things happen or who you are completely or where you're going. That's part of mastering something, right? It's kind of like the Karate Kid movie, you know? The new one or the old one, you know? It's like you're practicing something and it doesn't look perfect and it may hurt and it may look confusing and you don't have all the answers, but there's something to say about you still gain not only mental strength but physical strength to move forward, to create something new, to be a new version of yourself. When you watch the Karate Kid movie, for example, I'm going to use that as a figurative way of saying, hey, you know, for example, you were naive. You were a child, right? You're the youngest sign of the Zodiac, Aries. So you're in this childlike energy or this mindset of not being able to fully embody or recognize your potential or who you could be. And then you move into practicing making mistakes and trusting the path along the way, even if you don't have full trust in it, and just letting go and allowing the process to unfold naturally. And when you do that, it brings you to this masterful energy of, oh, I can create my own reality. I can become this person that I want to be. A lot of you guys have become the person who you are today based off of your experiences, based off of that wax on, wax off energy, based off of that going backwards and going forwards in life, the cycles of life, going backwards in time and also going forwards and breaking cycles and breaking chains and breaking generational curses, traumas, behavior, patterns, emotional instability, or even blockages, okay? That's what I'm channeling with this. So how does this purpose bring you into your legacy? Well, whatever it is that you're learning, you're going to be able to teach, which is why you're the master. So the overall message is that you are the master of movement and action based off of your own movement and action in your life that has brought you a lot of success and prosperity. So part of your legacy is to be a teacher. Part of your legacy is to be a leader, a coach, a teacher, a therapist, a counselor. It's to be the master of something. It's to master something and then teach it. So whatever it is that you want to do, you could pick any profession. You are going to master that thing and you're going to teach it. That's what brings you inner fulfillment, but also materialistic gain. And so Spirit is saying, I want you to surrender the regrets of what didn't happen. And I also want you to surrender to the process of what's going to happen. So that way you can lead yourself into this prosperity and legacy in life. So whatever it is that you teach will leave something behind for others to learn from. It could be generations of, people who are in your family, or it could be generations of people in the world. It could be online or in person. It could just be in a small community. There's something here that you're leaving behind, and it has something to do with what you mastered, you will teach. And so that's your message. All right. So that is going to be the message for my Aries. Shout out to the OGs. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate y'all. Sorry we got cut off. We had a little bit of tech issues, but we're on this live stream for the next message for my Taurus. For everybody here, I appreciate you for tuning into the live stream. Like this video a lot and hype it up a lot because this is the second live stream continuation of the first live stream. So really hype up this video. It's going to need a lot of extra help since we got disconnected. All right, let's tap into my Taurus, game Baddies, and Zodiacs. For my Taurus, let me know in the comments below who is in the building. Drop your zodiac sign down in the chat. Drop your bulls in the chat. I want to see how it's stampede. Lock in, gang. Lock in. Okay? So let's get it. All right, you guys. Lock in, gang. I appreciate you. A lot of you guys, as I'm doing the readings, you know what I noticed in the live streams? I noticed that you guys get worried that it's not your message, or you I pick up on your energy on, like, some of you guys. Thank you so much, Latoya, for leaving the stampede. Some of you guys get worried it's not your message. Some of you guys try to correct the message as I'm doing it, but the message is always going to be the message. Some of you just need to be patient. And that was for my Aries collective. I noticed that when we got into Aries, a lot of the live stream comments in the chat, it was out of anticipation for the message. It was out of impatience. And that it was out of wanting to tell someone who you are. And that could be a message within the message. Like, that could be shining a light on your shadow, or the parts of yourself that's triggered, or the parts of yourself that tries to overcompensate or tries to prove something. And it's like, you don't have to do that. The message is going to be the message. So as you're watching, be open to receiving the message. Okay, you guys? This is the chosen one collective message. It's not like a love reading or a career reading. All right? So be open to receiving the message. Because a lot of you in the chat were, your comments were like defensive. And I noticed that. And that is the message within the message. Spirit wants you to release control, Aries. Okay? And surrender to the message. Surrender to the journey. Surrender to the purpose, to the legacy. So what else do we have here? Well, we have Taurus. Let's tap into my Taurus gang. Shout out to the OGs. Thank you, Taurus, for being in the chat. Lock in, gang. Lock in. We also have here Yvette. Who else? Latoya heavy in the chat. Barrientos. Shout out to the OGs. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Source, for the highest good. What do we have here for my Taurus? Well, we got spring. See your seeds grow. Wow, Taurus. I like this energy. It's also a timeline card. So it's telling us something about spring. So this can mean two things. Springing into action, or it could be speaking about spring. March, April, May energy of next year. And May is your, April into May is your zodiac season. So that's your birthday season. So something about spring could be significant to you coming up. All right, so I get that energy. I'm also feeling the rabbit energy, as far as, like, for some of you Chinese zodiac signs. Maybe you're the Chinese zodiac of the rabbit, or the Chinese year of the rabbit. So I'm seeing that here as well. So take what resonates. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Jazz. Shout out to the OGs. We have here also some lavender in the background, it looks like. Lavender plants or flowers could be significant to you. You could like the color lavender, or you could like lavender plants. For some of you, you may have a tattoo of lavender or a tattoo of a rabbit on you. That's just to further confirm that this is your message. It doesn't have to be everybody's message, that part of the message. So take what resonates, but that's for those who need to hear that. Let's get into the next message. See your seeds grow. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Source. What is this speaking of? Well, it's speaking of seeing the fruits of your labor come into fruition. It's seeing, you know, the seeds you have sown actually have grown into some type of legacy. There's something that you're working on that will actually plant a seed for others to plant as well. So, for example, this is just kind of like an example here. The same principle of the message matches when you take a fruit and you open it up and there's a seed. The seed is actually the abundance. It's not the fruit to nourish your body, only the abundant part. It's also the seed, because you get to nourish your body with the fruit, but the fruit gave you back something to plant in order to have that grow and keep giving you fruit. So it's like if you find a fruit and you open it and you eat it and you have seeds left, you plant it so that the plant can give you more fruit, right? So it's the energy of reciprocation. You give back to the earth because you planted a seed, right? That you received from a fruit that nourished your body. So it's an equal exchange. It's an equal give and take. So there's something here about whatever seeds that you have planted, so to speak, in your passions, in your desires, in your belief system, in your purpose, or you wanting to find your purpose in life. Whatever seed that you are planting, it's going to grow, and it's also going to give out seeds to others. It's also going to, after you leave this earth, leave something behind for others to learn from, read, see, understand, digest. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's giving. So Spirit is saying, yeah, you're going to see the fruits of your labor come to fruition, but you're also going to leave seeds behind for others to plant more fruits. You know what I'm saying? More abundance. Okay? So you're the example. Taurus energy coming off very grounded. You are the example. What else is here for my spirit? For my spirit guides to you, it is the Knight. Be brave and honest. Being brave and honest. Okay? So your chosen one message here around your purpose brings you legacy. Part of your purpose is to be brave. Part of your purpose is to have courage and be kind. Part of your purpose is to be honest and authentic. Just be you, who you are, right? Embody that. Embody your personality, your creativity, your mind, your belief system. Embody it. And be honest. That it comes from a good place. That it comes from integrity. With honor, with some type of respect, you know? So there's something here about a lot of you Tauruses. I'm channeling like your bravery and authenticity is what brings you legacy. It's the lasting frequency that brings you prosperity and others' prosperity. Like people are able to eat because of you. People are able to have some type of resource because of you. It's like the secret sauce to you is your authenticity. And what's interesting is that people gravitate your way because of your authenticity. You'd be surprised, but not everybody can be authentically themselves. They're hiding behind masks. And Taurus, your energy is that it's almost like you've tried to hide behind a mask, but you can't. So you just always choose authenticity because you know you can't be fake. So there goes that high priestess energy. Or high priest for some of you. But high priest and high priestess shows me that you're being illuminated to something. It's your inner power. It's your energy, right? It's this mystic power to harness your gift of creativity, creation, your gift of authenticity. Your gift is to be your authentic self. That is your gift. That is what brings you legacy. I know you're asking, well, what's my life purpose? The purpose that brings legacy, your purpose is to be brave, honest, and authentic. That authenticity to whatever it is that you want to do, whatever your passions are, no matter what someone thinks about you or says about you, is what brings you legacy. It's the thing that lasts for a long time. So for example, I'll use just any person who left a legacy behind, and you could replace this person as someone else for you, right? Maybe you guys have a different person that you look up to or that you resonate with, but we'll just use Bob Marley for example, right? Bob Marley, through his music, wanted to change the world, right? And the music label didn't want him to do that. They had a different vision, and they wanted to create a particular persona for him. And he said, I don't want to do that. I want to do my thing. I want my album to look like this. I want my songs to feel like this. I want my songs to say this. I want to dress like this. I want to speak like this. And I'm going to speak about matters that could be controversial. It's that empowerment. That's the high priest or high priestess energy. It's knowing that I'm okay with whatever everybody else wants for me and wants to say for me and wants to do for me. I'm okay with leaving that behind. I'm okay with that, but behind me. I will not involve myself in that because it's not authentic to me. So there's that energy of authenticity. Again, Taurus, your authenticity and your truth and you being yourself is what brings you prosperity and legacy. Kind of like how Bob Marley brought that to his own life for others, right? And his legacy is still out to this day. To this day, people listen to his music. They make movies about this man all the time. There's a lot of history about this person. There's a lot of activism behind this person. There's a lot of change that this person wanted to create in their talent, skill, and ability. What was their talent, skill, and ability? It started off with music, you know? Poetic energy, right? Writing, music, saying, speaking, then activism, belief system, wanting to make a change, wanting to make it bigger and louder than life, than the world, bigger and louder than the world. And in that left legacy, Taurus, this is what I'm telling you. This authenticity is the same essence you have, Taurus. Your authentic self and bravery and honesty is what helps your seeds grow this mystic power in order to create legacy and leave something behind. And it doesn't have to be on a grandiose level, but a lot of people who have this power, this mystic and harnessed energy within themselves, don't realize that sometimes what they thought was going to stay small or stay in secret or stay behind closed doors or just stay their own thing ends up being larger than life. A lot of people don't realize how big their presence is, how big something actually is when they thought it was just going to be so small. It actually makes a grander impact than they thought. And that's the legacy that you have, Taurus. That's the impact that you have on whatever it is that you want to do. I don't care if you want to be a cook, an artist, a musician, a dog walker. I don't know. You may think of it as so insignificant, but it's actually larger than life. It almost is like it starts off as one thing, but then it leads to a multitude of things. It's almost like you're a multifaceted being because you are the high priestess. You can create anything you want. You're the high priest. You can create anything you want from this esoteric knowledge, from this spiritual connection to your talent or skill, to this ability to you being authentic and just being yourself without trying to be anybody else is the superpower, is the answer to your life purpose that brings a lasting impression, a legacy. For some of you guys, you may have a cat. For others of you, you may be connected to Egyptian descent or background. Not all of you, but for some of you guys, that could resonate with you. For some of you guys, you are from Africa or you have native African roots. Someone's name could be Cairo or someone could be from Cairo. For some of you, you feel very connected to hieroglyphics. You feel very connected to maybe the pyramids or like Egyptian history, textbooks, knowledge, higher knowledge. Bottom of the deck is air guardian. I'm getting strong air sign energy with you, Taurus. So for some of you guys, you could have Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius highly aspected in your chart. You can have a strong air sign placement. That could be a double confirmation that maybe you want to cross watch the readings here on the channel, or that you want to just take that and utilize that information to confirm something for you if you do have extra air sign in your chart. This air sign card says shift your perspective. You have the ability, part of your power and your ability is to shift not only your perspective and to believe in yourself with whatever new idea you get, new thing you want to do, new thing that you have an impact or a passion for, and shift it and turn it into something that you tangibly have in your hands, right? You see the seeds grow. You plant the seeds and you literally have fruit in your hand to be able to be like, hey, this is what I created. Look, see what I've created? Not only do you get to do that and shift your perspective to yourself, what's interesting is that you're able to shift other people's perspectives. What's interesting is that by people being in your energy, it triggers people to want to be authentic as well. Why? Because you're an authentic being. So it could trigger people to be upset or angry or hate on you, so to speak. It can create haters. But it's only because you're triggering them to be authentic. There's something about what it is that you're doing or showing or saying that inadvertently triggers people and the shadow parts of themselves, the parts of themselves that they don't want to address or see. By you being you do this for others. And what's interesting is that you leave a lasting impression. So when you leave their room or leave their life or exit the building, so to speak, you leave behind a perspective. And not only does that perspective leave behind your essence, it also triggers them to recognize their own perspective and where they may be looking at things not in a clear way. What is that when you do that? That is leaving a seed. That's what you just did. So that's what it goes back to this energy, right? You may be like, well, what does that mean? It's this the seed. The seed that you leave behind is your perspective. And inadvertently shifts other people's perspective to be authentic themselves, because a lot of people, like I said, are wearing masks. But for some reason, Taurus, you find that you cannot do that. Even if you try to wear a mask, you cannot do that. Even if you try to be fake, you cannot do that. There's something about you that's so authentic that it just keeps coming through despite you trying to do it and fit into the room or the crowd or whatever. So you've always learned to be your authentic self, but now you realize that you trigger others' authenticity or a lack of authenticity, and it gets you to trigger their perspective. So people appreciate this. For those who appreciate it, they will show you and tell you that they appreciate it, and others, they don't appreciate it. But guess how you know that they're going to appreciate it? When you know that they're a hater. When you know that they are someone who is triggered. When you know that they're someone who is defensive. Because you're shining a light on a part of themselves that they have a defense on. White witch energy is showing me this here. The white witch energy is telling me that you are of the highest white light. You only work with light energy, white light energy. You only work with divine spirit guides, connection to source, ancestors, angels, deities, entities of the highest realms, archangels. You only work of the highest white light. That's also why you trigger people. And I'm seeing that because this person has an owl in front of them, and the owl represents divine, highest white light, wise beings. The wise owl represents the wise beings of the esoteric, cosmic, knowledge type of world. Okay? So whether you know that you're connected to this or not, that is what that's what explains your personality or your trait to be authentic, is because you only can do good. You only could see good. The good in yourself, the good in other people. You can only see from higher perspective. Even if you tried to see from a lower perspective, you may see and understand what someone's saying, but you always have a resolution. You always have a higher thought. You always have a higher a higher knowledge or knowing to solve someone's problem, even if they didn't ask for the answer. You can only do that. So this is your gift. This is your superpower. This is something that you're going to utilize in whatever area of your life that you're attracted to when it comes to your passions. Okay, so I'm literally showing you what your skill is. Now you just have to apply it to a passion, an occupation, whether you work for yourself or someone else. You can choose whatever you want to do, but I'm showing you the way here through your skill. Okay, that's what Spirit is showing me here. They're wanting me to tell you that. Okay. For some of you guys, you could have heard an owl recently. You could have seen a deer recently. For some of you guys, you could have eaten blueberries recently. You could be very attractive to blueberries, eating blueberries a lot. I'm also seeing here a moth. You could have seen a moth recently. One of those bigger moths that are like the size of my hand. They're like really big. You could have seen one of those big moths around. That's going to be double confirmation. This is your reading. Not going to be for all, but it's okay. If you've not seen those things, it's okay. This could still be your message. We have here courage. Again, with the Knight energy. Be brave. Be kind. Be courageous. Be confident. Be honest. Be authentic. Be integral. These are all the things that you cannot hide away. You can't just be someone else. You've tried. You know you can't. So Spirit is saying, be who you are. You are the high priest. You are the high priestess. Okay? You are the one who gets to shift your own perspective and teach others about their own as well while you do this. You're the one who plants the seeds in order to leave the tree of fruit, the tree of life. And I find inner strength to face fear with confidence. A lot of people see you as courageous. A lot of people are like, wow, I can't believe like Taurus is like so brave and so confident. I wish I could be like that. So embody this. Recognize that even if you're doing something that you don't feel like is significant, it's making significant change. Because what you're going to do or what you're meant to do is going to leave legacy behind. It's going to leave a huger impact than you thought. A lot of you Tauruses just think you're just doing something just because that's what you're doing and that's it. It stops and ends. It starts and stops there. But that is actually not true. There's a lot more that you don't see that is coming to fruition. It's like watching a plant grow. You know, when it sprouts, you're like, well, I guess that's how good it's going to get, or it's going to take a long time for it to sprout. And then next thing you know, you give it 7 days. 7 days is not a long time, but you give it 7 days and now it's this tall when it was just this big. And you're like, what the heck? It's growing fast. Yeah. And then you realize that little plant, you're like, I don't remember what seed I planted. You realize that you just planted a tree and now you got to replant it outside because it's growing out of the pot that you had it in your house. It's too big now. That's kind of the principle of like what you're working on or what you're meant to do. You don't think it's actually going to be the tree because you see a little sprout and you see a little stalk and you're like, oh, that's as big as it's going to get. It could fit in my home, but it actually outgrows your home and it has to go out into the world. This is what you're working on. This is you. This is what you're creating. You're creating something that may start off somewhere in like a safer space, a home, a small building, a small little thing, an online thing, whatever this is. And it gets bigger than life and you have to put it outside because it's growing out. It's outgrowing its environment. That's how powerful you are, Taurus. That's how powerful your authenticity is. What else do we have here, Spirit? This is a beautiful message for all the zodiac signs today, so definitely watch both of the readings. We have here peace. It says, I am a being of love and I release all negative energy. Yeah. You do a lot of things with love. Authenticity is the highest frequency and love is the highest frequency. So the highest frequency of authenticity is love. The highest frequency of love is authenticity. Being true, being honest to yourself. and with others. It gives you purpose. We have the purpose card that came out. I know what I am here to do. This is what you are here to do, to be the light. And we also have failure. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. So through this purpose and legacy, you realize that your challenges or your blockages, aka your failures or what seems like failures, is actually lessons and opportunities for you to learn something about your journey, something about you, another layer of you, another layer to your journey, another clue along the way. So don't get discouraged from failure. Get encouraged from failure. Let failure fuel the energy to your purpose. Let it be the answer that you needed. Let the failure or the mistake or the wrong turn be the answer to the right decisions, to the right turn of events, to the enlightenment on something about yourself or others or an environment or a workplace or a situation. Let it be the answer. Let the failure be so it could show you the way. That is your message. In doing so, you show others the way. And you show others that that you're not afraid to fail. Because for a lot of you Tauruses, you could be the underdog here. And that could be a message within a message. But with that being said, this is going to be the Taurus reading. So this is your chosen one read. Take what resonates from it. This is what I've channeled. Thank you so much for being here. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. I appreciate y'all for spending your Tuesday afternoon or evening with me. Let's get into the next message. Let's get into my Geminis. What do we have here for my Gemini gang, biddies, and zaddies? My Gemmy gems. Drop your gems down in the chat stream below. Let me know y'all ready for the read. We're tapping into your purpose, bringing legacy. Your purpose, bringing legacy. Okay, so let's tap into what your purpose brings in order to bring legacy. What is your purpose bringing to the table in order to bring legacy? Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Source, for everyone's highest good in mind. What do we have here for my Gemmy gems? Shout out to my Gemini gang, biddies, and zaddies up in the building. Let's lock in, gang. Lock in. Drop your gems. Okay. Yes, no problem, you guys. I appreciate you. You say your chapstick is blueberry flavored. Yvette, that was for you. Thank you, Real Free and Happy. I appreciate the pumpkin head. Thank you so much for the pumpkin. Genesita, thank you for the witch cat. Wow, you sent me 1,200 jewels. She sent me 1,200 jewels. I know that's right. Lock in, gang. Thank you so much for the highest vibrational gifts in the chat. MP, thank you for the thumbs up. Jules as well. Shout out to the OGs. I see Summer here representing the Geminis in the chat. If you guys want to participate in the live stream, you have to subscribe, and then you'll be on the waiting list for 5 minutes, and then you'll have access to the live stream chat. That's just how we do it over here. You know what I'm saying? We exclusive. All right? So if you're trying to be part of the gang and trying to be a part of the exclusivity, okay? Lock in, gang. All right, subscribe to the channel. You'll get access to the live stream chat. You can chat it up with everybody in the live stream here that I'm shouting out. We got Michael Nightwolf. You've came back. Thank you for being here. The Native American has returned. Shout out to the OG. Y'all so fire. Thank you for the good vibes. We got Jamira up in the chat. We got Stephanie. Hey, boo. All right. Let's get started. We have Earth Guardian, Gemini. You get the Earth Guardian card. The Earth Guardian card is showing me green. For a lot of you Geminis, you could be born at the end of May. Green is the emerald stone. The stone of emerald is on this man's forehead. Okay. The emerald gemstone is Gemini's birthstone. You could also be a Taurus. It's also Taurus's birthstone, because Taurus was born in May as well. For some of the Taurus gang is born in May. So May is the emerald birthstone. That could be a double confirmation to your reading that this reading is for you. It doesn't have to be, though. We also have heart chakra energy. This person holding their heart. It's showing me your heart chakra is activated. You're coming from a place of love at this time. Spirit wants you to know that you're coming from a place of love, of passion, love for your supporters, but also love for the lack of supporters. Maybe people who you feel as though don't believe in you or hate on you or whatever you want to label it as. There's love for everybody. It should being shown here. We have Earth Guardian also locking into that Earth sign energy. So for some of you guys, you could be a Gemini with Taurus placements highly aspected in your chart. For some of you, you could be a Taurus Gemini cusper. You don't have to be, but you could. With that May energy coming through here with the Taurus and the Gemini and that birthstone. For some of you guys, green could be your favorite color. Doesn't have to be. But it says on the card, stay rooted and stay grounded. It's also speaking of root chakra. It's also speaking about your legacy or your line of work or your knowledge comes from your root chakra. It comes from your lineage. It comes from your family tree. Root chakra is the family tree energy. The people who have came through the same portal and the same womb of your DNA. The root. So your root chakra is like your private area. It is the area where your sexuality is, your gender is when you're born, that area. So, and it's also speaking of the womb. It's speaking of your family tree and the DNA, the creation of life. So I see that here within this one card, and I see that you're becoming more grounded and rooted in your self and in your heart space, that heart chakra, that what interestingly enough gives you the answer to your purpose, or what ignites your purpose if you're already within your purpose. This is what's bringing legacy. It's part of your legacy because you come from legacy. With the root chakra here, it's telling me that your legacy is part of your purpose. Like your lineage is part of your legacy. Like the people you come from, the wise woman energy, the wise women in your life from before, the ancestors from before, the brave men and warriors from before. A lot of that lineage is what gives you legacy in this lifetime. So just to leave that there for you guys to kind of think about. We're going to shuffle up some more. What else is here, Spirit? I'm also seeing a dream catcher. I've actually never noticed that in the card here. Before I read the next card, I'm seeing a dream catcher here. I don't know if you guys see it, but there's like a little dream catcher within this rod. There's this person holding the staff, and then there's a little bit of like webbing there, and it's showing me a dream catcher. So something about your dreams, talents, skills, abilities come from your lineage. And you could choose whatever it is that your ancestors or your ancestry has given you in your bloodline. You could choose whatever gift or talent this is. And whatever you choose is what's going to give you prosperity or purpose. It's going to leave another legacy behind for the next one after you to get to choose from what they want to do in their life based off of what you left behind. So it's like, it's kind of like a hand-me-down. There's a talent or a skill that's a hand-me-down from each ancestor. And it's interesting because Geminis, you're going to be a future ancestor that comes and has lived and who also goes, but also there's going to be family dynamic or a family member that is going to be able to continue with this talent or skill. It could be something that they don't realize until later. It doesn't feel like they realize it right away, but it's something that they will look up or look back on history and choose to kind of do something that you left behind or do something close to it or to acknowledge you. Maybe there's some type of honor that's going to you after you leave a legacy. So it's like when people honor musicians that have passed, like Tupac, Selena, you know, Left Eye, or Bob Marley, or like people who were activists and like people who created change, like Martin Luther King, Gandhi, Buddha, like Jesus. Like there's some type of energy of like your remembrance. You're going to be remembered is what I'm hearing, because of the root. It comes from your roots. It is rooted and embedded in your DNA and in this life that you will be remembered.